What's going on, guys? Monday. You want to know a good cure for the Monday blues? Monday hair metal. Exactly. You were thinking the same thing? I knew it. We were on the same page, aren't we? So we're talking about some 80s metal riffs that I just feel like they're not played enough. These are great riffs. Some of them by, huge 80s metal bands. Try saying that 3 times fast. They're just like, some of my favorite riffs from these guys that I don't think get played enough. So we're going to dive on into this. Let me know if you'd like to see a video on maybe some underrated 80s riffs. You can leave comments down below and tell me what riffs you would want to see. But we're going to dive on into these. I'm going to break them all down for you and get the tabs down below if you want to. So let's get it! Alright, to make it easier on your eyes, I'm going to be using the Les Paul for all of them, even though some of them, you just had to play them on the Super Strat. So, number 1, let's kind of go through that one. Now, that was obviously Naughty Naughty by Danger Danger. and it's really funny because then they have another song called Bang Bang. That must just have been like their thing. A name so nice, you say it twice. Okay, now anyways, Danger Danger, obviously, this is Andy Timmons' 80s metal band, and man, great guitar playing all over it, of course. And it starts out with this really cool riff, and I like it because it was out of G. It seemed like every 80s riff was out of A or E, and this one's out of G. And it starts kind of cool. And all it is this really cool, I guess like Aeolian is how I would kind of perceive the scale that it's out of, but you're just pedaling on the low E string. Now I use my thumb on 3rd fret on the low E string, so I go, then you're going to go to 5th fret on the D. Now you go back to the low E string, and actually let me turn this delay off real quick, make it easier on you to hear those notes. Now I'm going to go back to 3rd fret on the low E string and palm mute that twice. Now again, like I said, I'm using my thumb. You could use your index finger. If that's more comfortable for you, I've always used my thumb over the neck, so kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to 3rd fret on the D. So I go. Notice how I went back and palm muted, 3rd fret low E string, and then 5th fret again on the D, which is actually just an octave. So we have. Okay. So just get that part down first. It's a really cool part here. Go down to that A sharp, B flat, whatever you want to call it. 1st fret on the A string. Then it goes to 3rd fret on the D. Okay, now you're going to walk up. You're going to go 1 to 3 on the A string, which I believe is palm muted. So then I roll my finger. With my ring finger, I roll down and get 3rd fret on the D, roll it back up 3rd fret again on the A string, and then 2nd fret on the D, my middle finger. A little bit tricky there if you're not used to rolling your finger. Notice how those notes are not muted. That's the big thing about the 80s. The riffs, you know, even though a lot of them sounded similar, very dynamic in the notes that they were kind of like accentuating and the notes that they would kind of pull back on and palm mute. So a really cool riff, and just listen to that whole album. Next, some Rat. Now, you know what's, it was really interesting because I chose this riff because this is one of my top, you know, favorite Rat riffs. Warren D. Martini, you know, one of my guitar heroes. I've never heard anybody else play this riff, ever. And Doug Rappaport on Instagram has been doing these, you know, Warren D. Martini Wednesdays, and he did the solo to it. I'm like, I've never even heard anybody else like play the riff. Anyways, really good solo. But the riff is so cool because it's so simple. That's what I liked about it. But it has that bluesy kind of swagger that Warren has a lot in his like later Rat riffs. Early Rat was very like 80s. A little bit later Rat seemed to get more and more that blues influence. So it's just this. Literally E5 to F sharp 5, A5 to B5. So open low E string, 2nd fret on the D. And then you go to 2nd fret on the low E string and 4th fret on the A. I think I said D before I meant A. Open low E string, 2nd fret on the A. Literally just move it down a string. Open A, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the A, 4th fret on the D. That's the main part of the riff. Now, of course, we have this little like little tail end that he puts on it that just makes the riff so cool, because it's this. You know. And all that is think of it, you're kind of like out of the key of F sharp here. And he's just doing double stops here. So it's 4th fret on the G and the B. And then you play it twice, and you go to 2nd fret on the G and B. Then 4th fret on the D. Then I roll my fingers. You know, we have a lot of rolling our fingers going on here, just like in the Danger Danger one. I roll my finger down and get 4 on the G and B, and then 2 on the G and B again. So I add a little bit of a shake onto it. You know, sometimes it sounds like Warren bends it. He does it different. You know, like every single one is not exactly the same. So sometimes he has that little bend on there, and sometimes there's not. So it's just, you know, Warren being awesome. But yeah, learn that solo too. Next, some Lynch, you know, some Dokken in here. I started to do Lynch Mob, but then I realized their album came out in 1990. And I was like, well, of course Dokken. You know, Dokken was a huge influence on me. Still is. I shouldn't say was. He still is. And this is one of my favorite riffs. You know, there wasn't a music video for it or anything like that. But Unchained the Night has that really cool acoustic intro. But then it goes into... Oh man, it's so Lynchy and it's so good. So basically, I mean, this is who I learned this from. This little walk down that Lynch does. I do it all the time in my own playing. It's all stolen from Lynch. So we're starting out here with an E5. So there's going to be some palm muting on the low E string, but we'll get to that here in a second. I want to show you exactly what's happening. So basically you do a normal power chord, 7th fret on the A, 9th fret on the D. Now what he does is he walks down the D string on it. So you take your 5th and flatten it. So now you're going to be doing 7, and then that's 8 on the D, and then he does it again, 7 and 7. Which is basically like an A chord. You know, so... Now he takes this and he goes... So it's 7, 7, and then he slides down to 5. It's basically what he's doing, but it's like the 80s version of it, because they didn't use a lot of those lower strings in the riffs. So we have... So... Then he goes to A. Okay, now let's get the palm muting in here, because it's basically constant. Anytime you're not playing a fretted note, there's a palm mute happening. So it goes. So get it down. Now that's an A down here, so open A string, second fret on the D. Now put palm mutes between all of those, so. Okay, and then there's that little fill riff at the end there. Oh, my nose is itching. Now this is, you know, one of the coolest Lynch things ever. It's open A string, third fret on the low E. Now it's going to go open, 1, open on the A string, so. And then third fret on the low E string. I don't know, man, Lynch has so many just, man, killer 80s riffs. Alright, now we're totally in Les Paul territory, so give me all your love tonight. Now, obviously, off of that 87 Whitesnake album, it's amazing. It's an amazing album, but I love how every song starts, like every single song starts like that. It's so funny. But this riff is so good, you know. I did a little bit of a hybrid version of it for you, because basically what happens in the intro, it goes into this. A little more chilled, and the way I kind of played it was I kind of smashed those, the chorus and everything together. But basically, it's open low E string, third fret on the low E, and then an A5 chord. Now I palm mute the A string, then you do, you know, this like standard 80s stuff here. 5 on the D to 4 on the G. Then you're gonna go to 5 on the D and 5 on the G. See the little move there? So. Does it again, and then he goes down to the F. That's just, you know, straight up power chord. First fret low E string. Then you go to a C5, so third fret on the A string, power chord. G5, G sharp. Now this is where he stays on this part, but I altered a little bit just to give you the next part of the riff in here. But this part is this. So we have the open A string, the palm mute, same thing as before, 5 and 4, 5 and 5. Now you can do a bunch of palm mute. So 1, 2, 3, double stop here, 7 on the D and G. Okay. So I did the 7, 1 palm mute, another 7. And I slide it down to 5 on the D and G, so. Now there's a little fill here. I see a lot of people not play this fill. And it's open, third fret low E string, 2 on the A. This is the way I played it in the intro for you. It's kind of like the next part. So you walk your way down to that first fret on the low E string. Now when I play it, I use my thumb. Because you go open on the B and the G, and then first fret on the B, second fret on the G. 3 palm mutes. I slide all the way up to 3 on the B and 4 on the same shape. 3 on the B, 4 on the G. And slide it back down. Now we go all the way up here to this D minor 7 chord. So 5 on the A, 7, 5, 6, 5. And you just, yeah, so. That part right there. I'm lifting up my middle finger. Then palm mute the A string. Open, put it back down. C5, right back into it. Now I'll show you that little tag there at the end that they throw that. He might be sliding. I just like the way the bend sounds. To me it has a little bit more attitude with the bend. And I'm just straight pentatonic. I'm going to go 5 on the A and I bend up a full step to 7. So I go, and I pull off the 3, then do another 5, pull off 3, 5 on the low E string, open low E, and then 3rd fret low E. Do it all again. Alright, now we're going to leave off with one. I've used this riff in a, 10 riffs that'll make you want to grab your guitar, but I never taught the riff. And it is, oh god, what's it called? Bloodbath and, I'm like, Paradise, what is it? Bloodbath and Paradise. Oh my god, it's off my favorite Ozzy album, which, I'm a big Zach freak. He was always my guy. But, Bloodbath and Paradise, I can't believe I forgot it. But it has this super heavy beginning. And I see a lot of people play that part wrong too, and I'll show you how, I'm pretty sure this is how Zach does it. But anyway, so it starts out with a good old A5, and you hit it twice. Now he comes up here and he goes like this. So it's 10 on the B, and he is tuned a half step down. Let me add that, I'm in standard. 10, 9 on the G, and then 8, and he does a trill, total Tony Iommi. Okay, he's trilling on 8 and 9. And then you do a C5 power. And what he does, at least from what I can tell, what it sounds like to me is he goes like this. Then a harmonic in there. So he slides up to 6, then 5 and 4 on the G, then 7, 6 on the D. That's what it sounds like to me. And he just does that again, and then at the final time what he does is he just kind of walks us down chromatically. He goes, so that's 10, 9, 8, and then 9, 8, 7, and then which I think is funny because it's the same chord that we just did in the Give Me All Your Love Tonight. So anyways, the riff part of it goes like this. It's basically the same thing. If you know the riff, I don't know, the Randy riff. It's almost the same thing. So it's a little, a little double stop. So 2nd fret on the D and G, palm muting on that A string the whole time. Then you go 4 and 5. Then it's just 4, 5, 4, 5. You're sliding. Then a really trademark Zach thing is this double stop bend on the D and the G. So he's on 7, bends it goes back to 5. So now he goes that G5 up here, 3rd fret low E string, walks it up. If you want the next part, he goes. He does it again. It's just a D5 power chord. He just plays it fast. Think about it, he double times it. That's pretty much it for that one. I don't know. I can't remember how much I played in the intro for you, but it's a pretty straightforward riff once you get those couple little parts down. And there you guys have it, 80s metal on a Monday. Maybe should we do 80s metal Mondays? Might have just came up with something. Let me know. Is that a good idea for you guys? Let's see if that could be maybe a thing. We might do that. 80s Metal Mondays. I just thought of that. So we'll have to see. Other than that, guys, I'm going to bounce on out of here and have a great day. Let me know what other riffs you would like to see and some more 80s metal riffs. Maybe we'll make it a thing. So I'll play you some 80s metal rhythm here on the way out. And let's make it out of the key of A. You know, let's be nice. It's Monday. Gonna work our way into that, you know, B flat minor 7/11 chord. Here we go, guys. See you next time.